I'm Em Sauter, better known as Pints and Panels.
And I'm Don Tse, better known as the Dawn of Beer.
Welcome to episode 85 of the All About Beer podcast. Every 2 weeks, we talk with leading experts and take a deep dive into one topic in beer. This week on the show, we are going to talk about the trials, tumult, TikToks of brewery social media accounts. Please visit allaboutbeer.com and follow us on social media at allaboutbeer. And please go to allaboutbeer.com/support to support this show and others. Speaking of supporting this show, it is getting to the end of the year, and we are actively seeking sponsors to help us pay for producing the show through 2026. If you are interested in reaching thoughtful brewers, curious beer drinkers through advertising, or if you know someone who is, please email us podcast@allaboutbeer.com. To produce a good show, we limit the number of advertising slots available, so please reach out soon. If we don't get sufficient support, unfortunately, the show will have to go on hiatus or get shorter. So again, reach out soon. Please email podcast@allaboutbeer.com to learn more. So Don, do you have some thoughts on social media? I feel like you do.
I don't know. On a personal level, I'm terrible at it.
No, what?
I
Just your
am.
adorable
Every,
Facebook puns.
oh yeah, and my great memes that I do. Um, and like many other people, I spend far too much time scrolling on it. So yeah, I don't know. I know that there are people and companies who use it very successfully. I think you use it very successfully, don't you? So looking
I
forward to
try.
learning. Yeah, maybe I can learn. Anybody who follows my social media, please reach out to me and tell me what I should be doing better. That doesn't involve me investing more time in it.
Well, I think this episode is going to be really great because we've got three really excellent guests who know a lot about social media, and I'm really excited to dig into their thoughts on social media as a whole.
Yeah.
But first, if you would like to help support the All About Beer podcast, reach out at podcast@allaboutbeer.com. Speaking of supporting the show, here's a word from one of our sponsors.
This program is brought to you by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, where trailblazing runs in the family. From crafting a movement with their iconic pale ale to taking the IPA haze craze nationwide with Hazy Little Thing, it's an adventurous spirit you can taste in every sip. Find your next favorite beer wherever fine beverages are sold. With new brews for every season, there's always something to discover. Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. Still family-owned, operated, and argued over.
CLS Farms is a fifth-generation family farm rooted in the Yakima Valley, the heart of American hop country. Their intense climate and steady water supply help produce bold, consistent aromas that brewers rely on. CLS grows high-quality hops along with certified organic apples and soft fruit, all backed by sustainable practices and Global GAP certification. They support both public breeding and their own proprietary varieties like Eldorado, Medusa, and Zappa. Learn more and catch their latest hop talks at cslfarms.com.
Ariana, Christa, Tradition, Yule Melon, Select. RahrBSG sources these German hop varieties and more directly from German growers through their cooperative organization, HVG. Founded in 1953, HVG has grown to be one of the most important hop suppliers worldwide. In addition to supplying a large part of the German hop crop to brewers worldwide, HVG also processes hops into pellets, extract, and other hop products. Where would beer be without HVG? For the best selection, contact RahrBSG.
Julie Rhodes is a 20-year veteran of the food and beverage industry, owning Not Your Hobby Marketing Solutions, a fractional consulting and educational services company, and a co-founder of KickFizz, a low-dose hemp-infused beverage brand. She specializes in beverage sales, digital marketing, distributor management, and business strategy, helping craft beverage brands work smarter, not harder. A sought-after speaker, business journalist, and instructor for multiple university programs, Julie was named the 2023 Brewers Association Mentor of the Year. She is also an active member of numerous trade organizations and state-level guilds. Christa Brenner, aka Party Mom, runs the marketing creative teams at Shorts Brewing Company, Michigan's largest and probably scrappiest independent craft brewery. Since 2020, she's helped the 22-year-old company execute a comprehensive rebrand, launch countless products, and push creative to be as weird and as fun as humanly possible. She connects community partners and natural resource protectors to further Short's mission of making the world a better place while keeping Northern Michigan awesome. In her previous life, she ran an ad agency, leading strategy and creative for clients like Merrill Footwear. Fun fact, she hiked 32 miles on location in Northern California while 32 weeks pregnant. If she's not at Shorts, you'll find her digging through vintage treasures or on Torch Lake. Liz Wilson joined Allagash in 2019 as the social media specialist after working in digital marketing at agencies in Boston and New York City. She currently is the senior marketing manager, overseeing the company's social media strategy, digital media, national campaign programming, partnerships, and more. Liz also serves on the Brewers Association's PR and marketing committee. Outside of Allagash, she enjoys eating chocolate, pretending to be crafty, and exploring Maine with her husband, son, and dog. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Hello, thank you.
Hi, glad to be here.
Well, so it's great to have three ladies of social media who like really kick ass. Actually, I hate when women say kick ass in the same sentence. Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Way to
Ugh.
start the
over.
show
I
on the
know,
wrong
like,
foot.
oh, jeez. Badass bitches. Sorry. All right. Oof. All right.
I'll own that.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, you're all wonderful people, and I'm excited to talk to you. So this is a really big show, and it can go in a lot of directions. And so I guess my first question, and I'm going to start with Julie, is like, what's your day to day like? Like, are you on social media all the time? Is there a right amount of time to use it as someone who's on it all the time? And then, like, is social media the main focus of your job, or are you doing other things? And if so, what are those things that people may not realize?
Oh my gosh. We
No, I
only
just
have an
unloaded.
hour.
Yeah.
Jeez. All
Let's.
right. First of all, okay, I'll try to be succinct.
Sure.
Yes, I am on social media um pretty much all day during my
Hmm.
work day. Not by choice. To be frank, I'll just be honest with you. I hate it. I hate it.
Ooh.
It is
Thank you.
I don't
That's
know.
the end of the show, everybody.
Yep,
Goodbye.
Yeah, we're done
agreed.
here. No, it's one of those. I tell people it's like that zone of genius quadrant thing for me. It's in my quadrant of I'm good at it, but I don't enjoy it, if that makes sense. So it is a what I consider a occupational hazard, to be honest with you. And I think that's only because I've been doing it for so many years that I'm very jaded. So I don't want anyone listening to think that like, if you just got started in social media, you're probably super excited about it, and you should be. It is very exciting at the beginning, and then you start to realize that you have to deal with AI and chatbots and
Mhm.
phishing and trolling and all the crazy pants stuff that goes on with it. I manage brand side social media for about four different like associations and like beverage suppliers, like beverage brands at the moment. Then I also manage my own social media, and then I also sit on the board of a couple like trade associations where I have to volunteer my time to help run social media. So I
Oof.
have upwards of probably 30 plus channels that
Oh
I
my God.
manage at any given
Crazy.
time.
That is so many.
Um,
There's
so
so many.
uh people always wonder, they're like, Julie, you haven't posted on Instagram in a while, like your personal one. And I was like, yeah, because I hate being there. Because I'm because I'm on there so much, for work. Um and see, now I went too far down that rabbit hole. And what was the second thing? You
Oh,
got
I
my
just,
my
you were
time
on it. So
commitment
you're on it constantly.
constantly. Yes.
Constantly. And like, I guess my follow-up question is like, for people who are on it a lot or people who aren't on it a lot, is there a right amount of time to use it? Like, do you try to separate yourself from it sometimes, or is that 30 good God, girl.
Yeah, it's a lot. No, I can you tell that I have a very robust, expensive social media scheduling platform that
Mm-hmm.
I use to keep everything organized. Otherwise, I'd probably be going bonkers. So what that allows me to do is like schedule, post, I can do social listening. You know what I mean? So I can respond to
Hmm.
comments, I can do collabs, I can tag people, I can see messages, stuff like that. So I do have a cheat code for that, which is very expensive software, but
Hmm.
it's a lifesaver. I would say, I mean, is there a right amount of time to be on there? No, not really. I would say whatever amount of time it takes you to get whatever you need to get done on that platform. I would suggest taking a lot of breaks. I would move social media apps off of the front page of your phone, like to the second or third or fourth page, so that you aren't, staring at notifications all the time, like little red
Hmm.
circles, because I'm one of those people that it drives me crazy if I see those, and it'll tempt me to go in there. But the other thing, though, I would say, like from the perspective of like an emerging brand, someone who's trying to like grow brand awareness and excuse me, attract more people kind of into their community. I follow that good old like Gary Vaynerchuk $1.80 rule. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with that, but it's giving your 2 cents on like commenting or sending a DM or starting a conversation with other accounts sort of in your universe about 90 times, and you can spread that out like during your work week. You know what I mean? But basically, what that amounts to is like, hey, I'm giving my 2 cents 90 times. It equals $1.80. You spread that out during the week. So I don't know, like 10, 20 minutes while you're drinking a cup of coffee and then get off of there. You know, Obviously, you need more time to like schedule content and things of that sort. But as far as like best practices, that's something that I would want people to see like work into their work week, which is beneficial, super beneficial to
Hmm.
your business accounts.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the like having like a scheduling app. Liz at Christa, do you guys use something like that as well, or are you
Yeah,
more manual?
yep, we manage. So my team, I'm not running the marketing department by myself. So I oversee all of our content creation and we actually brainstorm as a team for that.
Oh,
So it's not the entirety of my job, which Julie, I don't know how you do it. I'm so grateful for. Um, so we'll do these brainstorming sessions, and then we use Asana to kind of manage the flow of those brainstorms. So everything from looking at all our upcoming content for the month or quarter, or whatever that is. And we'll build that all out and schedule it in Asana. And that's how we manage our workflow to get all that content created too, because we're pulling stuff from, graphic design and then, writing content down to recording. So we're using Asana to keep that stuff flowing.
how many people are on the marketing team at Shorts then, Krista?
So it's me and Dave. He does all of our content creation and a lot of our community management. Laura does all of our graphic design. And then Marisa handles customer service. Um, so it's a handful of us managing that department, but then we're also, doing all the content for our properties and photographing all our product releases and stuff like that. So we're a busy crew.
Yeah, dang.
Mhm.
And Liz, over at Allagash, you're the social media specialist, so I'm assuming social media is, I'm sure you do other things, but I'm sure this is your like main task.
No, I actually got hired as the social media specialist
Oh,
7
okay.
years ago now. So actually, they have found other things for me to do, which is great because I too appreciate a break from social. Um,
Okay.
uh, but our marketing team, I think there's about 7 of us now, and 4 of us touch social in one way or another. That's from, we meet every Monday at 9:30 in the morning. We go over the 2 weeks ahead of us. And then, like what do we need to film? What do we need to photograph? What do we need to brainstorm around? And then we sort of go our separate ways and tackle the week there. We use Sprout Social and
Okay.
have for years to like mostly manage inbound commenting and things like that. The best version of ourselves would be planning and scheduling our content, but mostly it's day-to-day manual upload. I think we've just found and we've been lucky, this team has been working together for years. It just ends up being, a little bit of our reality is like, oh, did we figure out what we needed to do by 4 p.m. today? Yep. Okay, rip it. So we have some of those tools. My God, if I needed to handle 30 accounts, then I would absolutely need to. And I guess just before we dive in, my plea to anybody is just like, please turn on your two-factor authentication for your social accounts. So
Oh,
yeah, that's just make sure
Ooh, there's a story
you're.
there's a
there.
story
Oh,
there.
So
yeah.
I'm saying thankfully, knock on wood, we've not had an issue, but I've seen so many small business owners have issues with their social that could easily that one extra level of security. So I feel like just saying that up front, if you have any takeaway, just make sure those accounts are secure.
Mm,
Yep.
right.
So, speaking of multiple accounts, working with multiple team members and everything, just looking at the shorts feeds, it kind of looks like Joe dominates the feed. Does he actually come up with everything, or do you deliberately try and make things in his voice so it looks like he's doing everything, or is all of Joe's stuff actually from him? Can you talk about how you maybe create a personality for your brand?
Yeah, it's all Joe.
Oh,
No,
I was
it's
actually not expecting that answer.
no, it's not all Joe.
Oh, okay.
But
Phew.
we're super lucky that he is such a charismatic character. And something that not a lot of people realize is how involved he actually is. So he's got all these crazy hobbies. He knows a lot of crazy friends, and he is a little bit of a character and an actor. So we bring ideas to him. He brings ideas to us. We did a Midwest ranch skit a couple years ago where, we're like pouring ranch out of a tap and he's chugging ranch. That was all Joe's idea. But then, on the day to day, we're pulling him in for all sorts of stunts and antics whenever we can get our hands on him. But yeah, we try to really channel him. He's our muse for sure.
Cool.
And then, Liz, like, I mean, do you have brewers? Do you have Rob? Do you have like everybody come up and be like, you know what you should do? Like, how do you manage expectations at Allagash when, you work with a lot of people? Like, is there like someone in the packaging that's like, I got an idea, and you're like, oh man, once again, you crush it.
Um, yeah, I think that's one of the things about social. It's like one of the more visible things that you're like, marketing, they do social media.
Hmm.
And that's true. And there's also lots of other stuff that we do, as everyone on this call knows. But
Hmm.
yeah, there's definitely plenty of ideas happening. And I actually love it because some of them are not bad ideas at all. And so, I'm always open to like getting feedback from people around the brewery. And I think one of the things we try to do is really get out and walk the production hall and go visit the lab and see what's happening in the tasting room. Like those are the stories that are so fruitful to tell. And so I think by us being really present in the brewery, and trying to show a variety of different departments and things that are happening here, that actually we don't get a ton of like, what about this idea? Because they see us all the time working and trying to show different aspects of the brewery. But we always really embrace the ideas. I think if they're like really far out there, or um, you know, do they
What
toe the line of appropriateness or something
Yeah.
like
What
that?
is like a crazy idea that someone's
Oh
had that you're
gosh.
like, I'm sure all three of you could come up with one of these,
Oh
but
yeah.
like,
We're always
yeah.
pushing for the inappropriate ideas. We
Yeah.
love that at our I don't do you guys also experience like I feel like a lot of people will see the marketing team coming and they just like run away and hide. They
That's
scatter to the winds because they don't want to be pulled
they do
into a
that at
skit.
hmm
Yes,
yeah.
yes, there are
I've seen that
definitely.
happen before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. There's definitely your go-to folks who like being on camera and people
Hmm.
who absolutely don't. And that's fine. And we try and give people a heads up of like anytime there's a group situation, we just say, hey, the marketing team is probably going to capture content for social, like just shoot me an email if you don't want to be included. or like, if I share out a photo and someone doesn't want, we won't run it. So we're pretty transparent here and try to be communicative of what.
Yeah, because I find that Allagash highlights your work, like the employees, like a lot. Like there was the post you guys just did about what's for on the Thanksgiving table.
Yeah,
Did you just like go up to, did
exactly.
everybody sign up to do that?
No, you
Or
kind of just wander around, and if people look like they can be interrupted or want to be in it, then
Mhm.
you take literally a minute out of their time. But if they are heads down in the production line, we try not to uh, just wander over. And so, yeah, we try to get a mix of people if we do similar content, and but folks will entertain us and help to participate. So I think it's fun because you see, either you can see them commenting, or we love seeing family members comment.
Mhm.
That's some of the best part of it.
Can you
I
maybe
was
tell?
gonna
Oh, go
oh,
ahead.
Don,
No, you go ahead,
sorry,
Julie.
just before I in talking about like off the cuff or like unusual things or interesting ideas, I'd be really sad if we went through this whole episode and I didn't say this. I have like two small things that I always tell people about like unusual or interesting content, and that is no OSHA violations, please.
Ah,
Like,
Yes,
please
wear
don't do that.
your
Um,
glasses, people.
yeah,
Yep.
Wear your
PPE or
hat.
PPE
Hold
is
that
important.
ladder. Hold
Hold
that
that
Yeah,
ladder.
like you might think it's funny that somebody got like a pallet of cans like knocked over on them, but OSHA probably doesn't think so. So, things of that sort. And then also, and this goes for production folks, normally I don't like to call out people specifically, but please, please, please stop posting the yeast poops, for lack of a better
I
term
don't
for
know
that.
what that is, and I don't want to know.
It's just that, it's
I
like the
Well,
leftover.
yeah, true, and it
Uh,
does. Yeah, I know it. Yeah,
oh,
Every
yeah.
yeah,
every
and it
brewer
looks.
loves to post that.
Yeah, it's like it looks like the duty that comes out. Yeah, and I try to explain to people like, we're marketing things that are uh ingestible, so you probably don't want to like make that association,
association. Yeah,
maybe, probably just a good idea. Anyways, a lot of people in the industry think it's hilarious. And amongst us industry folks, it is funny. It's funny. It's like potty humor, but
yeah,
probably not for like somebody brand new that's like new to your Instagram feed.
yeah. I wanted to ask a quick follow-up to the earlier comment. How important is it to use like your actual employees in their real day-to-day authentic lives versus like having a really slick produced, let's hire an actor and a bunch of extras and have, glitzy music written for us, that
Oh,
type of
what's
thing.
Dawn? Fancy.
I don't
Mm.
know. I'm assuming that there are big companies that do big fancy things, and then
Yeah.
there are smaller companies that can't afford to do big fancy things.
Yeah, I have a take on that. I worked in advertising for a long time, so I definitely created a lot of big, fancy, glitzy things. So it's been cool to bring that into the shorts realm. I think for shorts, we're kind of your hometown brewery. We're Northern Michigan's brewery. So people love to see staff, and we've had people working at shorts for 15 plus years, some of them almost as long as we've been around, 22 years. And so they love to see the brewers behind the scenes because they've probably met them before. So showing those people on the feeds, I think, is really important. But to get some more aspirational lifestyle stuff, I think there is a value in hiring or finding content creators to sponsor that are living that lifestyle that you can get a little bit of best of both worlds. So I think it's a mix is important. But for us, we're primarily using our internal teams as talent and pulling Joe in a lot, like we said.
Thank you.
Anyone else have a thought on that before we move on?
No, I think that's perfectly well
No,
said.
I totally agree. I think people are looking for authenticity, and if you can use your own folks, that's even better.
Absolutely. Plus, they're free.
They're free 99.
Yeah. So one of the things I find that social media does is there's like selling versus storytelling, and like no one wants to be like sold. Like how do you make things not look like an ad, but you're being like, here's a new beer we have. How does social media like help or hinder a brewery's mission? And Liz, I'll start with
Hmm.
you about that.
I mean, that's what marketing is, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
it's figuring out how to tell those stories in a way that make people really feel passionate about your brand. And um, I think, gosh, social, I think it has changed so much. And one of the things that I feel like maybe unique to the social media job is like we do this job every day. You know, I've been doing it for close to 15 years, and there are days you're like, I know nothing about the job that I do every day. You know, I feel like that's a unique feeling because what these platforms want and reward and what you're trying to figure out on top of telling your story and selling and doing all that is just like a unique challenge that I feel like just needs to be stated. And, you know, I think really understanding your business and really understanding what stories you want to tell and then kind of understanding social well enough to be that wrapper on top of all of it is like a really interesting mix. And so, you know, when it comes to like the different stories and things that we're trying to achieve, I know it's like a little bit of a old school thinking, but we've got certain pillars of content and you've got beer and you've got community and you've got, like come visit us. And so
Hmm.
like how do we find stories with each of those types of topics and then on top of that understand how the internet is working that day to like be able to bring it in a life in a way that you think people are going to see it, resonate, engage with it, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know if that really answers your
No,
question,
it's a
but
really
Well,
good
I
point
think
because
it's a moving target, right? I
yeah.
think that's the point. It's a moving target. So you can do a mix of stuff that's really polished and stuff that, you're shooting at 359 apparently, and uploading and because you just never know what's going to resonate and you've got to mix it up and sometimes you get lucky.
it's true.
Yeah.
The algorithm like doesn't, you don't know how, for people who, just browse social media on a daily basis, and just, post personal photos, whatever, and use it to engage in content, like people who do it for a living, the algorithm one day can reward you for something that you're like, oh wow, that hit.
They keep changing the rules.
And they change the rules a lot so
All
that,
the
Daily,
time.
seemingly. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's pretty
It's
crazy. It's got to be
bonkers.
exhausting.
Well,
I
I think
know,
that's
It
Liz.
is.
a big part of where, inspiration comes from everyone. So you hear those ideas when you're like at the pub in the kitchen, and that's you've got to take them in and put it in the filter and see if it fits into the pillars, like Liz said, but you've got to just keep your eyes and ears open all the time.
Yeah, and that kind of
Yeah.
goes back to being online and like the the importance of being online because everything happens so fast now and to be able to sort of capitalize it. And I would never say that Allagash is somebody that's like jumping on the latest trends. That's not us, it's never going to be us. But to understand the universe that is the internet is I think does help in figuring out, okay, here's the stories I want to tell. Like, how do we make that come to life
And I
today?
think
Yeah.
looking at a broad range of inspiration too, to just keep yourself informed through your social media channels. So you're following my personal feed is very different than my professional feed. So you're getting ideas literally from everywhere.
Yeah. There's I kind of preach with my clients, like a combination of Liz, what you and Krista both said, like we use pillars just to keep us on brand, to make sure we're not like going willy-nilly all over the place. So whether it's like organizational values, like unique selling propositions, like not to get all MBA term here, but like things that are important to your brand, and the company and like the brand identity, and then making sure we're covering those, but then we do like a little cross section, almost like a rubric of then like things that resonate well on social media, so like something entertaining or something educational or inspirational or behind the scenes or you know things of that sort, and then we try to plan like I don't know, like 2/3 of our content, but then also, Krista, like what you said, like leaving space to grab like fun random moments, I think is still important. Like you should have systems, definitely for sure, because it is so chaotic, but then still leave room for like the fun random moments.
Hmm.
So what it feels like you guys are, or at least for Liz is saying, is that like trends, like what the current one is that apology letter. If you guys know what I'm talking about. A brewery
Yeah,
makes a fake apology letter and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Our newest beer comes out Thursday," and then
yeah,
you get people's attention. That worked with a local brewery, a brewery that I know doesn't have a lot of engagement. They got over 1,000 likes. And it worked really well. Do you think that that's a good idea to chase trends, or do you think that it kind of makes you look like you don't know what you're doing? But like, or you're just like, oh, I don't know. I think, Julie, you put it where like, I think chasing trends is like 25%. And then if you have 75% structure
Hmm.
and 25% to like,
yeah.
oh, let's try it. I guess the other question I have is there a shelf life? If I did the apology letter now, did I miss it? You know what I'm saying?
No, not necessarily. It's like how long did that demure trend go on for stuff can last like a really long time. And then sometimes it comes back full circle. You know what I mean? Like right now I'm seeing stuff that was from like memes like 5 years ago. You know what I mean? It's like coming back through. So um I don't the way I navigate that is I think you should leverage trends for like visibility and reach and but I think it also needs to at least somewhat be like on brand. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like if you don't
Yeah.
if you're a humorous brand and you don't take yourself very seriously, you're probably going to do more trending content than somebody that's a little bit more buttoned up. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Sure.
So just like treading lightly and making sure that you don't lose the identity of your brand in the process. Um, and then just taking into account like okay does this have a meaning or a purpose, right? Like are we doing the apology letter to increase reach or impressions or to get engagement, which I'll interject and say I wish people wouldn't rely so much on likes.
Hmm.
It's a big time vanity metric. So looking more at like, are people commenting? Are they starting conversations? Are they, asking questions? Are they saving and reposting and sharing and tagging their friends and stuff of that sort? Excuse me,
Yeah.
goodness, I'm losing my voice today. But yeah, like doing it for that purpose instead of just like, oh, there's a lot of other people doing this. Maybe we should jump on the train.
Yeah, we'll if we're gonna jump on a trend, usually we'll do it for a specific reason or a concept. Like we just did the foot grabs marker, but we put a twist on it. So if we can put a twist on it and then tie it to something that we're promoting, in this case, it's an event that we're having up north. So if there's a concept behind it that we can actually have a reason to jump on a trend and it sounds fun,
Hmm.
and then we'll get after it. But we just, we're not doing every trend for trend's sake.
And Allagash, no trends.
Sets
Trend,
trends.
trend sets. I was gonna say, yeah, trend setter.
That's
Oh, you're
trends.
Yes.
awfully kind.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that everything that's been said is right. If it makes sense and there's a reason to do it, then like, yeah, we would consider it. But I feel like we're chronically late to so many things that becomes our personality. Whatever the trends were 2 months ago, I might dig some of those up and maybe we'll
Hey,
dip.
remember this? No, that's fun.
Uh,
Yeah.
we've had
That's
that
our
come
like,
back. I feel like trends just come back and come back where you're like, we can't do it because it's
yeah,
too late, and then it just
Hmm.
never goes away. And it's tough to know.
yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for the first half. We'll be right back with more about social media right after a word from our sponsors.
This program is brought to you by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, where trailblazing runs in the family. From crafting a movement with their iconic pale ale to taking the IPA haze craze nationwide with Hazy Little Thing, it's an adventurous spirit you can taste in every sip. Find your next favorite beer wherever fine beverages are sold. With new brews for every season, there's always something to discover. Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, Still family owned, operated, and argued over.
Ariana, Calista, Tradition, Mule Melon, Select. RahrBSG sources these German hop varieties and more directly from German growers through their cooperative organization, HVG. Founded in 1953, HVG has grown to be one of the most important hop suppliers worldwide. In addition to supplying a large part of the German hop crop to brewers worldwide, HVG also processes hops into pellets, extract, and other hop products. Where would beer be without HVG? For the best selection, contact RahrBSG.
CLS Farms is a fifth-generation family farm rooted in the Yakima Valley, the heart of American hop country. Their intense climate and steady water supply help produce bold, consistent aromas that brewers rely on. CLS grows high-quality hops along with certified organic apples and soft fruit, all backed by sustainable practices and Global GAP certification. They support both public breeding and their own proprietary varieties like Eldorado, Medusa, and Zappa. Learn more and catch their latest hop talks at cslfarms.com.
Welcome back, everybody. So Julie sent me an email about how breweries don't use social media correctly. Julie, can you expand on this? And then I want to ask everybody else. I know that's so broad.
That's a fun question.
Yeah, but you were
also that makes me sound really mean. I didn't
well,
mean
no,
it
no.
that
I
Well,
way.
mean, no, but it was like I think okay, that's me misappropriating my words. That's you were like, I wish breweries use it this way instead of that way. Can you explain what you
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it was Liz and Christa actually that both said this earlier, and I want to bring this to attention is that is as marketers, we do more than social media, and that's for a really good reason. And it has a lot to do with ROI, ROI of your time, ROI of your effort, and also the money that you're seeing in sales. There are other marketing channels where you can actually see like what we call like attribution, like direct attribution. So like if I send out an email and it's for my taproom anniversary party and I'm having people buy a ticket, like I can attribute that to the email, right? Like if somebody clicks on the, buy a ticket and then they go and buy the ticket and they check out, like I can tie that together very succinctly. With social media, it's a little bit more gray and squishy and, hard to attribute like, okay, is this really, adding to the bottom line of the business or growing the brand? So that's where it gets really kind of messy. But the one thing that I've just seen, honestly, the past like handful of years is just like an over reliance on social media to do things that are kind of out of the expectations of the channel or the goal of the channel. So the way that I like to phrase it to people is like social media is like a welcome mat on your doorstep, but it's not a cash register, so it's not going to directly translate to butts and seats or ticket sales or direct beer sales or whatever you're talking about, right? But what it is meant to do, is build community and build a brand and help you build brand awareness and visibility. And, people buy things ultimately because they know, like, and trust a brand. And social media is a really good way to build up the know, like, and trust factor. It's just not really great at like direct ROI. So, if you, I don't know, if you say, oh, well, taproom sales are down this week, okay, hit up the marketing lady and have her post a gazillion things on Instagram like 3 times a day for the next 5 days in a row. That's probably not going to translate to more sales. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Liz or Krista, any thoughts about that? Liz, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think consumers are really smart and they'll be on to you pretty quickly if you're
Yeah.
so I think that's right, about the brand building and the community building and understanding that these platforms are used for, entertainment and humor and, sure you can insert some selling in there as well, but certainly not, we're not trying to get that that really salesy pitch in there. We know people will scroll typically right over that type of message. So yeah, I think that's pretty spot on.
Yeah, I love the analogy of a welcome mat. Because it is just that, it's not selling your product at the end of the day. So it's really just reminding people and connecting with people because they still are taking an additional step, right? Social's not selling your beer, so you've got to have all those other channels and your fingers in all those other channels to really bring that consumer in.
So on that, other than your own brands that you represent, who's doing it right? And I don't want to limit your answers to beer. Like what companies do you feel are doing social media properly?
Liz, no pressure, but I use Allagash all the time. It's like
Oh,
I was
the
gonna
gold
say
standard.
I also use Allagash as like the gold stand because I mean not to blow smoke because you're here, but like you do a really good job of like posting from place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's such a strong, like, if you live in a place that's beautiful, or even like if you live in a city or a town, like, highlight the place that you're from.
And I think
Uh, yeah, that gives so much credibility.
And I
Hmm.
think the thing there is like there's no shortcuts for that. That's like literally us going out and like having built trust with Rob and the leadership team to say like this is important and builds our brand. And yes, we're going to be off the grid for the entire day, but like that's the content we're capturing and it's important to our brand. And so making a case for prioritizing that and yeah, there's no shortcuts. Like that's a lot of work and that's getting out there and doing it. And I love it and I love taking that type of content with the team here, but there's definitely I feel like there's a lot of like what are the hacks to social media and what are the like shortcuts and like how do you do this? And there's just
there's no hacks.
there's no
No
hack.
Yeah.
hacks.
And so
No.
it's a lot of planning, as we talked about. I think that's one of the things that, if you're at a small brewery and you do everything and you know that social media is important, then how do you fit that into your day? I think if you can carve out some time for planning, that is that's one of the most beneficial things that I think you can do for yourself, so that you're not like getting to Friday and you're like, ah, shoot, I didn't post a single thing this week because it's really easy to be in that spot.
Mhm.
Um, but yes, that is, yeah. And then
Yeah.
once that I just admire, like, I think Christa, you were saying this, like my personal feed is very different than work. And I think, as we're mentioning, it's really important to look outside of our industry and especially the way that the internet works. It's like we're not, someone's feed isn't just endless breweries they follow now. It's like it's
Mine
algorithmic
is
things
actually.
that are it's things
Okay,
that are
Don, you're the
being
only one.
Yeah.
yeah. So you're not competing with just beer by any stretch of the imagination. You're like competing with that like amazing compilation of cat videos that is really funny and you're just yeah. So that is that's just an interesting way to sort of position like, okay, I'm not just competing with breweries and thinking about showing up in a feed that way, but like it's really you're sort of out there with everybody. I don't know. Some of my inspiration, I love the National Park Service. I feel like their copyright
Mm,
is
Oh yeah.
amazing.
mhm.
I love We Rate Dogs, which is essentially just a compilation of dog
Big
videos.
fan, big fan.
big
It's
I
fan.
great.
always
Yeah.
TSA,
crying.
the
Yeah.
TSA
TSA
kills
is
it.
killing it right now. That
Yep.
stuff is
Yeah.
amazing. I
Obviously,
never thought I'd say that, but
uh, Gavin Newsom's team is really
Yeah.
good.
They're
Yep.
very good.
I
yes.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out there doing it right.
Yep.
Cool.
There's the,
Dunkin'
yeah.
Donuts, that's
Yeah.
Really?
great
Oh,
content. It's hilarious if you like a little humor.
I do,
Um,
I do like to
I,
laugh.
yeah, Dunkin' and Wendy's has a sense of humor, which that's kind of random, but
Yeah.
um, I would say I did want to mention Trillium, like bringing it back to like beer
Mm.
content. I really enjoy their social media and also Bale Breaker and Trogs. Those are probably some like just off the top of my head.
Cool. Thank you.
I like the point where like I'm scrolling through my because I'm just curious and I mean it's mostly baseball and then Simpsons quotes in Spanish. Um but like Yeah, don't worry
That's
about it.
that's dialed. That's a dialed
That's a
algorithm.
dial algorithm. I'm
Dang.
taking Spanish classes, so it knows. But yeah, like when you discover, it's so much fun when you discover there's a girl who's a nurse who now reads old-timey like baseball stories, and she's just delightful.
So
And it
neat.
also,
Amazing.
oh my God, I like want to find her name and I can't. I'll drop it in the thing later. Um, and it's just like when you find someone who does it so well and is so charming, and you're just like telling those people that they do a good job is
Right.
also something that's
Yeah.
like a huge, like if there's a brewery that's like crushing it, be like, hey, you're nailing it. Like ever, like it's really nice to talk to people who and like look at feeds that like, oh, they get it, especially with the ever-changing landscape of like video and AI and all this other stuff. So, I want to switch gears super quick before we end. But I want to ask a little bit about talking with customers because every customer uses social media differently. And they also expect this kind of like Amazon Prime level of like, you didn't answer my question within 20 minutes. Do you have any expectations of like how to talk to people? If someone questions you at like midnight on a Friday, like, does someone at the brewery get back to them? Like, what's your expectation of work? And then how do you deal with people who are like filling your feed with garbage? Because that happens. Christa, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we get so many requests from like Lieutenant Paul Schaefer, who is trying to befriend every person that's ever commented on our breweries page, but we definitely do a lot of blocking and marking as spam.
Mm.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of that. Um, oh, I totally lost track of that question.
Oh, I was just, how like what's your expectation when people comment? Like,
Oh,
do
yes.
you respond? People love
Yes.
to love respond. Is there like a time
We
that
definitely try to keep the kind of shorts, weird and quirky Midwest nice voice and all of that. We
excellent?
have, our team is on 9 to 5 all week long, and then take turns on the weekends. Primarily, Dave is running social on the weekends, but we're checking in a couple times a day to just handle those questions because a lot of those questions are, I mean, things people could find somewhere else on our beer finder, for example. But if someone wants to know where to pick this up, for a zip code for X, Y, and Z, we want to answer those questions. Or what music is playing tonight at the pub. Certainly people can dig that up themselves, but if they're going to take the time to reach out, we usually try to be pretty prompt in responding to that stuff.
Liz, same question.
Yeah, we take a pretty similar approach. Yeah, there's a team here during the day and then in the evenings and the weekend, just checking in a couple times a day to make sure everything is going well. I think we prioritize questions or, if anything should pop up on the weekend over just, your standard engagement. Just because we try and limit our being online all the time.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, that's clocked in work hours. So, yeah, we do try and it's exactly those questions that Krista is mentioning, like, can I bring my dog? Or, what's the food situation? Or, what's going on? What music? Things like that. So, pretty easy answers for the most part.
Nice. Julie, any
I
thoughts about that?
Oh, I'm an outlier. Well, I think it's because I function more as an agency, you
Mhm.
know.
Fair.
I answer, stuff for my company or my beverage brand specifically, like personally. That's because I'm a small business owner and I'm not paid hourly, and so I'm on a lot, although mental health is important. I'm just going to say that I don't answer things at all times of the night or evening or whatever it is. I warn people that I'll get back to them as quickly as I can. But I love systems, and I love when like software can help me sort of 10x myself or staff that I'm working with. So actually, a lot of my folks that are my client partners, we use a tool called ManyChat. I don't know if anybody knows about that. It's like an AI chatbot. It's Many, not like mini, but many. But it's a learning language model, and I know a lot of people might have hangups with AI, but like Liz and Chris has said both, like a lot of the times the questions and the things that come through as like DMs or comments are things that can be found on the website. So we take a lot of time in setting up the tool to where it sounds like the brand identity, it sounds like our voice. And we come up with something that we just lovingly refer to as like the oh shit list of like possible questions that people could ask. And we give it answers. And if it runs out of solutions or links to send people to find more information, then we actually get like a big notification and that could be answered like personally, one on one. So that's been a big help.
I also want to say the hide feature on Instagram is
Oh, that's fun.
spectacular.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
Some
And
people
so
just are, want to be mean. And that's one of those things you can just, I don't know. It's like you have to make a very conscious, it's like the drunk uncle situation, you know? It's like, okay, I get like a really hateful or like trolling comment or message or something. You have to make a conscious decision. Like, do I want to engage or do I choose to just, diplomatically sort of bow out? And sometimes stuff just needs to be hidden completely just
Ooh,
because it's mean, you know?
yeah. Yeah, we have for the most part, I would say if it's mean or derogatory, yes, we absolutely hide it. But we, for the most part, with our trolls, our community is so great. Usually our community will kind of come to the defense or answer the question. So we try to not be involved with trolls like at all as much as we can. Let the community handle some of those questions that aren't hurtful or offensive.
That's great.
I like that.
Like to hit him with a real bummer.
Ooh, I'm gonna borrow that. Bummer.
I have said to somebody in the comment section, like, there's no reason for you to yuck somebody else's yum or like something to that effect. And that seems to get a chuckle every now and
Yeah.
then.
Mm. Yeah, we've I'll occasionally, we'll have to reach out and squash incorrect or fallacies about our business. I think other platforms like Google reviews, for example, if people go in there and trash your reputation, it's interesting the ways around that to kind of call them out or whatever. We have to do sleuthing and talk to all of our departments and, you know, don't troll people on the internet, guys. It takes a lot of time for people like us to deal with that.
it's a lot.
Um, it's kind of a good segue. Like we've had a lot of good conversation about social media and its use, but for consumers, what do you wish they understood about social media other than please stop making stupid comments?
I think, was it New Belgium that literally just put a video out about this? It was like, I do not make the brewing schedule. I know you like that beer from 12 years ago. If I could help you bring it back, I even might, but that.
That's good.
Super
Yeah,
quick.
I mean, maybe setting boundaries is a good one. I did quite enjoy, and I think, oh my gosh, the name of the brewery is escaping me because I have constant brain fog these days. But it was a brewery in Chicago that made it very clear that their social media channels were not the end all be all like source of truth for everything going on in the brewery, that it was just too much information to put in one place. And they said that they were kind of breaking up with social media, which I have to commend them for. And they basically said what I love to see people say, which is, get over to the website, like sign up for the email list, get text messages, and we want to like share the brand with you and our stories and what we're doing and like tell you what's going on. But this might not be the place where you find everything. So please know that it is in another spot. And I really like that.
It was Dovetail.
Dovetail. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
I feel like running social media has made me a better consumer and maybe a worse social media user, right? Because instead of asking the dumb question, I'll be like, well, why don't I just go check the link in bio and just see if I can just figure that out myself. So I feel like it's made me a better consumer
Awesome.
Anything else to add?
Be
Well, this
nice.
was, yeah, be
Be
nice.
nice.
There we go. Great ending.
Be nice and know that, that pretty
There's a
much,
human.
yeah, there's humans behind this. And maybe don't be so brave behind a keyboard and know that people put a lot of effort and heart and time into, making sure that you have a really enjoyable experience. And yeah, just don't be an a-hole.
Perfect.
Yeah, and on that, if anyone wants to reach out to any of you guys, can you please share your social media and websites? Julie, we can start with you.
Sure. Yeah, people can find me at notyourhobbymarketing.com. That's the name of my company. I'm on a bunch of social media channels. It's pretty much all at Not Your Hobby Marketing, like all lowercase. So you can find me wherever.
Cool. Liz?
Yeah, you can find us at Allagash Brewing on most platforms, and then our website's allagash.com.
And Christa? Finally.
We're shortsbrewing.com and at shortsbrewing on the socials.
Awesome. Ladies, thank you so much for talking about social media today. It's a lot. We like barely scratched the surface. I had so many other questions. So maybe next year we can have a part 2. But thank you guys so much for everything and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
So Don,
Hmm.
what'd you think of that episode? It was a lot.
It was a lot. It confirmed a lot of suspicions I had, which is that to be really good at social media, you have to spend a lot of time at it. So that's why I'm terrible at it. What did you think?
I think it's really fascinating how exhausting it is. Like, I think that as someone who does it as well and had done it previously for a brewery, it's a lot of work. You're
And it's
constantly
kind of non-optional now. Like, back
definitely
in the day when it was
non-optional.
just television ads, you could just not do most companies didn't do television ads. But now
Hmm.
like kind of every company, beer or otherwise, kind of has to have social media, right?
And it's pretty crazy how all the ladies talked about how ever-changing it is. Like
Yeah.
you have a job that one day is video focused, and then, oh, you find something that works, and then the next thing doesn't. And, how do you gain followers? How do you do this? And it's a lot of just kind of fumbling in the dark
Yeah.
until something sticks. And I think that
And then it won't stick again.
and then it won't stick. And that's crazy how important yet, like,
It's almost like we're drinking IPAs this year and like lagers next year.
it's almost like the brewing industry itself. Uh, that's, oh boy. Anyway, everybody, please visit allaboutbeer.com and follow us on social media at allaboutbeer. And please visit allaboutbeer.com/support to support this show and others. If you have any questions for the experts, email podcast@allaboutbeer.com. That's also the email for feedback, suggestions, or to inquire about supporting the show through advertising. Don, how can people reach out to you?
Oh, if people want to see my terrible memes, they can follow me on X, Threads, Blue Sky, and Instagram at the Dawn of Beer. Terrible puns and bad weightlifting videos are at the Beer Dawn on Facebook. And people can drop me an email. I am Don at thedawnofbeer.com. How about you, Em?
I am at Pints and Panels on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky, and my website is www.pintsandpanels.com. Instead of asking you to like and subscribe to the show, this time we're going to remind you that, again, we are actively looking for sponsors for this podcast for 2026. If you appreciate this show, please help us ensure we can continue to bring you great, insightful listening experience. And here's a final word from our sponsor.
This program is brought to you by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, where trailblazing runs in the family. From crafting a movement with their iconic pale ale to taking the IPA haze craze nationwide with Hazy Little Thing, it's an adventurous spirit you can taste in every sip. Find your next favorite beer wherever fine beverages are sold. With new brews for every season, there's always something to discover. Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, still family owned, operated, and argued over.
CLS Farms is a fifth-generation family farm rooted in the Yakima Valley, the heart of American hop country. Their intense climate and steady water supply help produce bold, consistent aromas that brewers rely on. CLS grows high-quality hops along with certified organic apples and soft fruit, all backed by sustainable practices and Global GAP certification. They support both public breeding and their own proprietary varieties like Eldorado, Medusa, and Zappa. Learn more and catch their latest hop talks at cslfarms.com.
Need ingredients and supplies that deliver consistent, high-quality beer? RahrBSG has you covered. From hops to malt to yeast to unbeatable customer service, they are dedicated to your success. RahrBSG, ingredients for greatness.
This show is produced by All About Beer. Visit allaboutbeer.com for articles, notes on this show and others, and to connect via the newsletter and social media. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Be nice.
Be nice. No yeast poops.